Hey YouTubers, we just wrapped up a Mod Podge Live featuring Dimensional Magic.
We made all sorts of fun jewelry, we've got tips and tricks, and we did some home decor too.
So take a look.
Hey, welcome to Make It with Mod Podge Live. I'm Kathy.
And I'm Steve, and today is all about Dimensional Magic.
One of our favorite Mod Podge products.
Now we've done a lot of Dimensional Magic in the past. It's come back around and we're excited to show you a lot of the projects that we did today.
So this is such a fun product to use with your Mod Podge products that you have. Yeah. And we're going to show you how it works with the gloss formula and with the extreme glitter formula.
Yeah, now Dimensional Magic is a faux resin, so it gives this glassy sheen and three-dimensional feel to it on any project that you're working with.
So let's show you some of the pendants and things that we're going to be making. We've got 4 different collections that we made to showcase today. The first one is sort of spring and summer botanicals, and you can see all the different sizes that this works with, thin ones, thick ones. We're going to show you how we made this cactus necklace. And we've strung all these on ball chain just to keep it simple. We've also got some antique gold looks here, and we're going to show you how we embedded seashells and flowers and things into those. And we've got a poker chip, so you can use pendant blanks or bezels, whatever you prefer calling them, but you can also use wood pieces like this, and the Dimensional Magic doesn't go off the edge. We're going to talk about all the different types of blanks that you can use this with. We've also got kids design, some kids and tweens. This is all bottle cap. That's a bottle cap there. And this is a milk cap. That mermaid one is a milk cap. And then we've also got some holiday designs. So these holiday designs are really cool for gift giving, for teachers, for mom, for yourself. I've got this crazy Christmas necklace that I wear. I just keep adding charms and stuff. Yeah. I'm like that girl in the neighborhood is kind of embarrassing, like tons. So I'm already eyeing these like, maybe I'll jump bring those on today.
Well, jewelry's great.
And home decor.
And home decor. Yeah. And that's what we got right here. We got some home decor stuff. We got a couple projects that we want to show you. We did the whole botanical cactus theme today. You can see right here how the Dimensional Magic gives it a beautiful glass finish, shine. And also if you feel it, I know you can't feel it, but if you feel it, it gives it a nice little three-dimensional feel to it. So you can see how this can work as far as, here's another great example.
Almost.
It is a highlighter to whatever specific area of what you're working with to give it that kind of glassy pop.
Now this can be used on greeting cards, gift tags, all sorts of things. This is just a little piece of store-bought artwork that we got, and we created a thick glass finish on that and even sunk gems into it. But we're going to show you how to do all of this today. Yeah. And at the end of the video, we'll recap all of this too, so you'll get a better look at some of these jewelry pieces.
Yeah, and just let people know what the great thing about Dimensional Magic is, it is like it's a faux resin, so there's none of that mixing or that stink or that chemical stuff. This stuff is water-based, and it's an amazing product to use. Okay, so let's get started.
Should we get started with Dimensional Magic? Are we going to shake our bottle?
No, we're not going to shake our bottle. So what you want to do with Dimensional Magic is when you take it out of the package, the thing you want to do is not shake it, because you can get air bubbles. Air bubbles are okay because you can poke it with a pin and, you know, that will relieve the bubble from whatever project. But you just kind of want to rotate it like this is what we like to do, just to get it mixed a little bit. So you're going very, very slow with it. And you want to immediately just kind of...
It's almost like your starter.
Push it out and start it. And there it is. And that's all you want to do to start with your Dimensional Magic.
And that'll just create, if there's any air in the top, it gets rid of that first layer of
Exactly.
air.
So if you don't want that air to go right on top of your project immediately.
No, because that will... I've done it. It'll like make a boop, little bubble pop right up.
It's okay though.
So first, let's talk about what types of pendant blanks we can use, or bezels, or whatever you want to call them. It works, like I said, this is a wood poker chip or disc, and so that doesn't have any well at all, and it will work perfectly on that, and it will self-level, and it will not go off the edge. I mean, if you squirted it like crazy, I guess it might, but it doesn't really. Some things that are really deep well, like this bottle cap here, that works great with that, and the deeper it is, really good for embedding. Some of them have a very shallow well, and it's going to work fine with that. You may have something that's more of a medium well, and it's going to work great with that too. And you can see that these types of blanks come in all different sizes and things. We've got rings, heart-shaped rings, different finishes. There's antique golds, you know, coppers. You can get bracelets, you can get cufflinks, you can get hair clips. I mean, it's really endless. There's
such a variety.
Tons of different. Now, these are at your local craft stores. All of them have some version of this.
Yes.
Online is a treasure trove of these blanks. I mean, you can just go crazy looking and finding them. So really, if you want to do a project like this in bulk, if you want to do them like as a whole bunch of gifts that you're giving to maybe all the people at school or, you know, all your nieces or something, you can also buy these in bulk online from different places. So that's a really good tip. Like
just get an assembly line ready to go.
Which is what I did last year, which is why template making is so important.
Yes, and let's move on to template making because it's very easy to do if you even don't have it. I mean, sometimes the packaging has a template on the back, like this one here, and you can cut that template out and it fits perfectly inside of your pendant blank like that.
Now, isn't that lucky when you get the template?
It is lucky, but if you don't get the template, there's a couple different ideas what you can do to make a template. First is you can use a punch. You can find a matching punch that works with whatever pendant blank you're using. This one works perfect.
This is 1 inch, and that's a very standard.
Very standard, and there's a lot of the pendant blanks are very 1 inch standard too. If it's bigger, if it's oval, if it's square, and you don't have that punch, you can make your own. And the way to do that is, here is an oval pendant blank. Now it might look like a perfect oval, but it is not. I assure you it's not. So you want to make the exact shape of that oval. And the way you do it, it's very simple. We just got a piece of paper and you just want to put it right on top and you just want to move it around, your finger around with your fingernail. Very simple, not complicated at all. And you're going to get that groove right there. So you can see, you get that shape. What is that called? That imprint is what I'm looking for. Yeah. So then what you want to do, so the pair of scissors, to avoid time, you understand what I'm doing. You're just going to cut all the way around it and you're going to end up with your oval here. Now I like to put it on the back of a piece of cardboard just so it gives some support. Now you might be wondering what this arrow is all about. What it is these ovals are not perfectly oval. So what I like to do is make sure, so I don't forget, I put an arrow to go straight to the top so I know this is up and down. So it's straight up, this is the top part, so it fits perfectly. Once you've accomplished that, all you're gonna do is take your oval on top of your scrapbook paper using a pencil, because you're gonna want to erase the line around it. Just put it right on top of the area, the little picture portion of the scrapbook paper, draw around it, and then boom, there you go. Then you cut it out and you have your perfect little piece of paper. Now the good thing about the template, if you're going to be making a bunch of them, you have this template and you're going to be able to do multiples of that. Now Kathy has this piece already cut out and ready to go, and she's going to show you how to adhere that to the blank pendant.
So right before I show you how to Mod Podge that down, I just want to talk about papers really quickly. For these projects, using something that has a small print is really great. So when I'm out throughout the whole year, when I see a small print scrapbook paper or paper like that, I buy it and I keep it in a little folder that I say jewelry papers. So I just want to show you here, we've got this small snowman. See how tiny he is. And that's the paper that we used in the snowman pendant. And then the cactus, look at all these different cactuses that we got on there. And some we cut out. You can see where we cut out square pendants there. But on some of them, we actually just cut out the cactus shape and used it single like that. So these are all different. You can see this one is from that scrapbook paper there, and so is that one. So this, just look for small prints. If you find that you love an image, just shrink it down at the coffee shop. And you can also use family photos.
That's a great one.
So shrink those down. Don't use real pictures, just, you know, color copy them. And I like the idea of silhouettes. We did that way back in the day. We did silhouette pendants.
You can get super creative with this project. Almost anything works inside of these.
And one of my favorites is seasonal. Seasonal stuff. So I did a necklace a few years ago where I did a background and I just used a spider sticker on it. So you can use stickers too. Just look for things that are small that will fit into your bezel or your pendant blank. So to put our paper down, it's so easy. I'm going to use Mod Podge gloss. It's kind of my go-to for this. You could use matte if you wanted to, but I don't think it makes much sense because you're going to be adding that glass finish. So you want to have as much sheen as possible. So I like to add a little bit to the inside of the pendant. And it's going to dry clear, so if you go over the edge, it's not going to be a big deal. Just like so. And then turn your paper over and add it to the back. See if I can get it to flip. There we go. Go ahead and put that right down. And like Steve was saying, it seems like this is a perfect oval, but it actually isn't. It's more of an artisan pendant, so it wants you to, it looks like it's more handmade as opposed to made on a machine.
Yeah, the template is very important with a lot of these shapes. If it doesn't come on the back of the package or your punch doesn't fit, definitely make a template the way I showed you with the paper.
Yeah, if you're doing a square, or a rectangle like this, it's easy. You can cut that out.
You saw how fast it was. I mean, it took a whole 30 seconds.
We really wanted to demo something that was not easy, because when you find this pretty oval shape.
And the problem with it is if you don't get that perfect shape in these things and it starts going over the edge, then you're starting to try to pick at it, so you don't, and it rips and all sorts of things happen.
So that's as easy as that. So that's going to dry. I think dry time is pretty important with this. You want to make sure that your Mod Podge is completely dry before you move on to the next step. And Steve is going to show you how you fill a well.
Yes. Now, to fill a well, first we want to start off with something very important, and that is leveling. You want to make sure that your piece is completely level, because a lot of these pieces, let's show this one right here. On the back, it's got the little where the chain goes through, and if you fill, this is on a slant. So your Dimensional Magic, while it's still wet, is going to drip all the way down to this end, and it's going to be much heavier on the bottom than the top, and that's what we do not want to do. So we use beans. Now, beans is a great way to level off using Dimensional Magic. Now, as you can see, on a flat surface, it's leaning. On the beans, you can completely level it to exactly where you want it to be, and that looks pretty level, and that's the surface that I'd be working with. We're going to be doing this cactus, because this one we kind of prepped out for it. And
this is the no embellishment fill. If you just want the plain glass finish with no gems, no sparkles, just plain.
And you just want to make sure it's nice and level, because this is also going to be your drying rack. 'Cause you don't want to move it around much when it's drying. You don't want it to be in over a fan. You don't want to move it around. You just kind of want to leave it exactly where it is for 24 hours and let it dry. So as you can see, I'm going to start off again by just putting a little bit of Dimensional Magic out, getting those air bubbles out, and then I'm going to start on the edge and work my way all the way around. Now, you're going to get a real feel for this stuff, you guys. It's so much fun to work with.
It's mesmerizing.
And it's called Dimensional Magic for a reason, because it's weirdly goes exactly where it's supposed to go. Even if this wasn't a well, and we might show you that on some of these pieces later, it doesn't go off the edge, which is, I think, the magic part of it. Don't you, Cal?
Yeah. Well, we've done this on dominoes. In fact, if you see the package, the dominoes that are on there were some designs that we did years and years and years ago.
So I'm just moving all the way around, just filling it up. You can see it's kind of cloudy right now. This is going to dry completely clear. And it tells you when it needs more, because the empty spots, you just kind of keep slowly filling. Ooh, good. I got an air bubble because I want to show you that, guys. It's really simple. And there we go. Completely filled. So now you can see this little air bubble right there. You don't want that because it will dry exactly like that. We're just using a simple little pin and we're popping it. Boop. There it is. Let this sit for 24 hours. Let it dry. It's going to dry completely clear, a glass-like finish, just like this one.
One thing I do want to say about bubbles is you got that bubble immediately and you popped it. I have noticed sometimes you come back like 20 minutes later and there's an air bubble you didn't know was there.
You can still pop it.
Yeah. So I recommend that you do go and check, not once it's settled, but in the first like 10 to 20 minutes, go back and check it and see, did any air bubbles come? Because I think sometimes it's so tiny you don't even see it.
Yeah.
And then as it settles, it
kind of grows a little bit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But, once you get the hang of it, you really don't even get...
And it's really easy and super fun to play with.
So another thing about beans that we want to show you is if you're doing an object that can't balance flat, like this bracelet here, or if you were doing a ring, I like to just do a little bucket. We keep a bucket of beans in the craft room. We use this for so many different jewelry making projects. And you can just, you put it right on into the beans and level it. And we don't use a level, we just use our eyes.
And it always works.
We put our glasses on for
Yeah,
that.
we need glasses.
So you can see that's just a quick tip on if you are doing these objects that need balancing, just a bucket of old dried beans works really good for that. So now, I lost my dimensional magic. Now I want to show you about embellishments. So here's our pendant that I just put the paper on, and I have drying over here, one that I've added some embellishments to. And we'll talk a little bit more about embellishments in a second as well. But here is some of the Mod Podge Extreme Glitter. And this is a hologram, one of my favorites. It's got so much glitter in there. And this is one of the Mod Podge detail brushes. So you just go grab a little bit. It looks like Mod Podge because you probably can't see that sparkle. But you just tap it where you want to add a little highlight, a bit more. And that's going to give you, when it's dry, that sparkle. I hope you guys can see that. Lots of sparkle there. So now that's how you add a little bit of glitter. And we used, if you look here in this pendant, we used glitter there. I hope that sparkles for you. And we'll show you about embedding those shells and things too. So that's a really fun way to add sparkle if you want to do something, even on the reindeer here for holiday. You can see just the little reindeer has a tiny bit, but all those little extra details really add to your pendant making.
It's layering up. It's just keep adding on and then adding the dimensional magic on top of it and sealing it all together.
I find it kind of like, you just can't stop. Like some of those when we were making them, I was like, let's add another gem. I was like, oh, now I can't even see the image. I've added so much stuff.
Well, that's the fun of it.
Oh, I'm dropping everything
And also,
today.
yeah, that's the spark, and you're moving on to the gems. That's right. Okay.
So now I want to show you how you add rhinestones. So just go ahead. I use the tip of my brush and add a few dots of Mod Podge where you want to add a gem. And this is going to dry clear. This is just a wax pencil. And just go ahead and grab whatever gem you want and place it into that Mod Podge. Now this is going to be important that this fully dries. So this one here, I dried overnight. You can see my gems are there and I've got the sparkle because I really think it's important that all of the different glues that you're using are completely dry before you do the dimensional magic. If your glues, or let's say you've layered paint or something under it, it can have a reaction and it can cause a crack. Or like, yeah, I guess you would call it a crack almost
absolutely.
Like a spider web
a separation type.
So you want to make sure everything is fully dry before you move on to the dimensional magic. What you can see is, let's go ahead and tap off a little bit. Same deal. Just start on the edge. Go all the way around. And I'm going just over the gems because I kind of want them embedded. If you used a bigger gem, you could go around the gems if you wanted to. It's really a personal preference or whatever kind of design look you're going for. And you just keep circling around.
You know, and dimensional magic also works with acrylic paints, pigments, all sorts of pigments.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, it's mosaics. You can do mosaics with it, which is beautiful.
We did the whole faux tile thing once.
Show them the milk cap. That's awesome.
So that's how you fill it over the gems. I do want to show you some of the different things. So one of my favorite embellishments is fingernail size gems. You can get these in the beauty department. I get them at my dollar store, which is a great deal because you get all these different sizes and colors for, sorry, not sizes, colors for $1. So look for them there. And on that, I used on this Kids Bottle Cap Sun. And that's the little tiny orange gems there. It just adds a little extra pop. And on this bottle cap, you can also use buttons. So this is a milk cap from a milk bottle. And I layered in pearls back there and some chunky confetti, filled the whole thing with dimensional magic. And then I just set one of these mermaid buttons right on top there. You can also use, like over here, resin flowers. You can see I've got a flower and some pearls and gems in that one. And those I all glued down first, and then I added the Dimensional Magic. You can also sink. Steve's going to show you how you sink a gem into the Dimensional Magic. So you can glue it down or sink it in. But if you're doing small jewelry pieces, it's easier to glue them first. Little tiny seashells work great too. You can see we've got seashells and pearls in that beach one. It's really endless. Just any tiny little embellishments will work in your project.
Yeah, and you know, on the opposite of that, you can go really simple too, not embed anything. Like we did this key. And look, it's just right on the surface. So here's the unfinished one, and here is the finished one. So you can see the difference between the two. And again, it really is simple to the point where you just add Dimensional Magic right on top. I'm going onto my beans, getting it level, and we just went around, starting at the edge here, and moving it all the way to the top of the little area right here. There you go. I'm going to let that sit. Let that sit for 24 hours, and you can get that glass-like finish. You can see that right there. Look at how pretty that is. Nice and shiny, and it's perfectly smooth. No brush strokes. That's what I like about it.
And I'm going to add this one over to our bean pile.
Yeah. And again, you want to put this into an area where it's out of the sunlight, just on the counter, no drafts, no wind,
you don't
no
want the
fans,
air conditioning
no
blowing
air conditioning blowing on you. Just leave it alone for 24 hours, and in the morning, you'll get something like this. Okay, what are we moving on to? So,
home decor.
Home decor. So jewelry is great, but Dimensional Magic works amazing with paper crafts.
Yes, I love it. Well, to me, this is such a fun thing to use if you want to highlight a little something. If you've handmade a card, you can use this to create dewdrops or to highlight a little heart shape or something. You could even sprinkle glitter on top of it. If you have store-bought cards, that's sort of one of my secret tricks, is I add this to store-bought cards a lot.
It just gives it that extra boom to it.
Yeah, I'll just highlight a little flower or something on it.
So you can kind of understand this. This is just a nice, home decor decoration. But, even imagine this being a card or something. You can see how the areas that you want highlighted, you can just go right on top of. So, and it's like we just did the cactus. And of course you can feel it. It's also, you guys need to know, it has a 3-dimensional feel to it. You can feel that 3-dimensional right on top of that.
And it doesn't add any weight. I mean,
no weight.
Maybe it adds like a teeny weeny weight, but not really any weight. And then this is a piece of artwork that we found, and we just wanted to add a little bit of dimension to it. So you can see that we added all that Dimensional Magic just to the areas where the print design was. So that's kind of an all over design.
And then of course we went even bigger. You can see that we just added into certain areas. Right there, give it a little dewdrop there. So it's endless what you can do with this stuff.
Now, one of my favorites is the brush on, though. This is really cool.
Okay.
This is super cool if you've got these little plaques, or some people are doing them on little dominoes, or, all different types of things where you have a little artwork and you want to add like a finish over the whole thing.
So I'm going to show you the finished product first, and that's this right here. So you can see the sheen, and we just added these 2 little gems. So it started off like this, which was just this plain, nothing on top of it, and we just wanted to add a little bit of this glass-like finish right on top. So it really is as simple as we're using a nylon brush, and we're just going to add some Dimensional Magic right on top. And I just like to swirl about that much to start, and I go in one direction at first, and you can see you're just going to go from one end to the other. You can spread it out a little bit because you're going to be going over it with your brush in both directions. So actually, let me go this way first just to spread it. And then I'm going to go in the opposite direction like that. And you won't get any brush marks from this product either, because once you brush it on and it's still wet, it does form together.
Yeah, self-levels.
It self-levels and no brush strokes. And I'm just going to go back one more time this way. And there we have it. And if you get anything out running off the sides or anything, you just want to go around maybe with a paper towel, or in my case, my finger.
Or in my case, the baby wipe.
Yeah. And there you go. Now you can leave it just like this and let it dry for 24 hours, or you can add some gems. So we just added some gems directly to this.
I love that you can just glue them right into
and you
it.
just pop them down. Yeah, because they stick because of the dimensional magic, and they stay completely solid. And that's it. That's all you have to do. So let's look. So I like to kind of look down a little bit. I've gotten full coverage. The whole thing's covered. I went one direction and I went the other direction. And then you're just going to leave it alone, and you got this beautiful glass-like finish right on top of it.
It's just that extra little touch.
The little touch.
So I want to show you how, if you want to create just that small detail where you just want to highlight a detail. So if you want to highlight a detail, it's very simple. So this is that same scrapbook paper. This is a chipboard cactus. And you'll just go in. Same deal though. You want to kind of start. Did you see that bubble pop out? You want to just start and just kind of gently go.
This is a perfect example, Kath, that we were saying earlier, how when you put it down, it doesn't run. So where you place it, it's almost a gel. It's not gel at all, but it almost acts as like that, where it doesn't spread out. So where you put it down is where it stays. Yeah, looks nice.
There you go.
There you go.
It's really that simple.
All right.
So let's review. Let's recap.
Let's recap. Okay. Dimensional Magic. Here's the package it comes in. So take a look at that. We want you guys to try this and use this because you can do so many different projects. And of course, on the back, it gives you full-on examples. It shows you how to use it, aside from what we just told you, what the product is. It really is a very cool product because it's a faux resin is what we like to call it.
No mixing, no smells.
Nothing.
So
and a
it's perfect if you're
glass-like
working with
finish.
kids too.
Oh yeah, great.
So, so we'll take a look quickly at the jewelry. We've got our Botanical Summer Collection, all in our bright silvers. Really fun, bright and cheery, so easy to put together. And then this is our napkin decoupage. So this one's just a wood chip there. And we've got some of these vintage, this is a great little bracelet blank. So this is just some more botanical paper. And that's actually all layered up. Those were little tiny pieces that I cut and kept gluing them in with the Mod Podge. You can do earrings. These are some wood chips there. You can really see that that doesn't come off the edge. It just goes right there. We did a little ring blank. Of course, I love our holiday images. These are so fun for gifts, even little package tie-ons, you know. And then the kids stuff. I think the kids stuff's so fun for summer because this is, you know, a kid-friendly product. I mean, mom and dad want to be around, but you know, you
have
can
the kids come in and join.
Yeah, and these bottle caps all work with a 1-inch punch, and I think that's important. You can buy these bottle caps in bulk that are flat, so they're not like, you know, bent open. And then the kids can just do 1-inch circle, even magazine cutouts, whatever they want. And then this is the milk cap mermaid design. So really, really fun for kids.
Yeah.
Especially going into summer, you're looking for what are things we can make. You know, you can make tons of these.
Oh, and here's, again, the home decor, some ideas. Of course, you guys can get creative and think of 100 other different things. That's the great thing about this product. It's just adding an extra little embellishment to an existing project.
It highlights whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this Dimensional Magic tutorial today on Mod Podge Live.
That's right.
Please be sure to, if you're doing plaid crafts, make sure you tag plaid crafts because they want to know what you're making. And on Fridays on their Instagram, they have been featuring fans. So the way they find their fans is because you've tagged them. So be sure if you're doing Dimensional Magic projects that you tag plaid crafts. It's hashtag plaid crafts.
Yeah, we want to see your projects.
So we can see what you've made with Mod Podge.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye, guys.